Yeah, what's popping with your peoples? Boy, it's your boy CJ, your boy Nigel, and your boy Eli, and you're back with the next installment, the next episode of the Fleecers Fantasy Football Podcast. How y'all feeling, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good. Another day, another dollar. We outside.
Hey man, blessed to see another day, fellas. Blessed to see
Talk
another
to him,
day.
talk to him, talk to
We
him.
here, we here, we here.
Don't got really too much NFL news because we were trying to cram in a couple episodes this week because we got a good week ahead of us. One of our homeboys is getting married next week, so we're gonna have to come in and get a couple in for you so we can get these out the way that we want them to. So the only news that I have that's taking over everybody's timeline, if you haven't seen it, you live under a fucking rock, is your boy, the top two is battling. You got your boy Kendrick Lamar from the West Coast, and you got your boy Drizzy from the 6, man. Champagne Poppy. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but as a fellow Drake as a Drake GOAT to myself, you know what I mean? I feel like my nigga down 15 for real. I feel like I feel like the game is over. The series is over 4-1 in my book. He down 15 in my eyes. I just don't know how y'all feel about that.
You talk. I mean, when the 2 and 3 seeds is battling it out, it's cool. I mean, you said top two. Like J. Cole ain't one, but I mean, it is what it is.
No. Drake to me is top 2 and not 2. To be real with you,
Word.
it's always been the big 3. Do you feel me? It's always been the big 3. Cole. Now you can move depending on wherever you are in the country and how you feeling. You feel me? I do got your boy K. Aubrey and your boy Cole. However you want to move it, is however you feeling. But
Hey,
your boy Cole dropped out. He took a back seat. He said, this ain't my
Bro,
style.
he knew where it was about to go. He said, "Yeah, bro, I ain't about to do this shit." He said, "Bro, I ain't about to be talking about niggas' kids and all this stuff, bro. Nah." He said, "That ain't me. Y'all got that."
Man.
He said,
People
"Y'all
got too much.
that."
People got too much hate in their heart. You feel me? He
Right.
seen it and backed out.
I saw a tweet that said, Jake. He said, I understand why J. Cole backed out. They didn't want him talking about his one basketball season in Rwanda, scoring 1 point.
Yeah, nah.
Hey,
Hey,
bro.
man, yeah.
We're not gonna count Cole like that, bro. Hey, come on, man.
It was crazy, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, that shit was super fucking funny to me. But on to why we're really here. You know, we rocking with the Fantasy Football Podcast. You feel me? And so we're right back into our way too early mock draft. Just a little recap for you if you didn't catch the first one. We did a 10-man mock draft. PPR scoring. If you don't know, PPR is points per reception, and you feel me. So, and the way that it's set it up, we have it's a one single QB, 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flexes. If you don't know what a flex is, you can have either a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end. Not to get confused with your super flex. Your super flex, you can add a QB in that hoe. But
Facts.
where we are, we're in the regular flexes around here. And what I want to get right up into with this episode is the different ways, the different strategies that you can have to set up your team and how your draft goes. Now, it all depends on where you are your draft position at, you know, especially if you're in what most people are doing is what is called a snake draft. And then the snake draft is pretty much, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it turns right back around in the second round, and number 10 becomes the first pick of the second round and goes all the way back through. You feel me?
Have you ever done the draft the other way?
No,
That
I
is
have.
the only way we have drafted.
You drafted that way, Eli?
Nah, bro.
Oh,
I've
you
only,
have.
nah, I've
I'm about to
only
say, yo,
taken place in the
that's
snake draft.
disgusting. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
They had the option up there, so this is for people be setting up their drafts anyway. We'll have another episode on different ways that you could set your draft up.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that will hit a good linear, or I think the next famous one, the next popular one after the snake draft is what's called an auction draft, and in the auction draft is where you can basically bet on player, not bet on, like you can
Put money down for him.
put money down on players like an auction. So they'll start out with a list of players, and you might have like $100 or $200, and now it's like, all right, Christian McCaffrey going once. I got $5 for Christian. Nigga set up 30 on
I'm
Christian.
not
He
gonna
might
lie.
take a whole 100.
I think I like that draft way better than any other draft way. Like, yo, you want your player to spend that bread on them. You feel me?
Put your money up. Put your money where his mouth is. I've never done it.
You feel me? You drop
You gotta
100
know
on
how to allocate
CMC.
your money.
Yeah, you spend
We
100
gonna
on
see who's
CMC.
smart
Yeah,
with
you
their
gotta figure out the
savings.
rest of your roster. You gotta figure it out.
It'll literally be like, yo, like people put like 2/3 of their roster on Christian McCaffrey, and then they got to fill out the rest of their roster with $40.
You know, and that yeah. I did a basketball draft I did a fantasy basketball draft like that. Hey, I spent over half my thing on Jokic and Luka. You feel me? The rest of
How'd you
my
do in
team,
that draft?
rest of my team was rookies.
How'd
You
you
How'd you
feel
do in
me?
that draft?
Huh?
How'd you do in that draft?
I lost in the playoffs. You
At
feel
least
me?
you made playoffs though.
Okay,
I,
playoff team.
I lost in the playoffs, but hey.
Hey, if you know around here, if you play fantasy football, if you can get to the playoffs, you damn near a championship contender. That's all you gotta do. If you can get to the playoffs, by the time the season go, people are gonna be injured. Whoever the most healthiest team is the one that pretty much start pulling out in front. So you know what I mean? And like I think we had said it earlier before, I'd rather have a team start off 0-3 and just barely slide into the playoffs than starting off 8-0 and then I take two big hits. Can't get nobody off the waivers. Your waivers slow. You feel me? And that just depends on how you do your waiver wire, because you can get into what's it called? You can get into your free. They have a waiver wire where you could pick somebody up on the Wednesday or the Tuesday after, however it goes, but it will be based like off your rankings of week to week, and then, or some people don't like that because if you're too good of a team, you can never touch a waiver wire ever, and then they do like what's called a FOB, which is like a free agent accolation budget or something. I don't know what that second A is, but it's something along that way. But let's get right up into it, man. I just wanted to get into, so we got a few different teams that we're set here to talk about in the ways that we can set up. You have different draft strategies, right? And so there's the draft strategy. I'm gonna just list them real quickly. I'm gonna get you to. You got the hero RB. Your hero RB is pretty much you draft your top one running back within your first two picks, pretty much, and so that when you get that running back, then you pretty much you don't touch another running back for a few more rounds, or something along the lines of that. And then when you get into, then you have your zero RB. Your zero RB is just in the name. You go around and you don't pick up any RBs in your first 1 to 2 picks or even third pick, and so you're pretty much banking that you're going to pick some of your running backs with your middle round picks, depending on the players that are left out there. And then you have pretty much your 2 RBs, where some people might go running back to back. And so we have a couple teams that we're going to talk about just to see how they kind of rock out and how they kind of go. So the first team that we're going to talk about here with the hero RB strategy is our boy Mo's team. I'm gonna just list off his team real quick, and then I wanted to see what y'all think about that. We got pick 101. Who would your boy go with?
The consensus, bro. Come on now.
The Great White Hope, Christian McCaffrey, CMC.
CMC, man.
You feel me? So he went CMC at pick 101. Didn't have a pick all the way until the snake draft, because it came all the way back around to the second to third turn. He came out with your boy Sam Laporta. I like that. He was a second tight end off the board. A little early for me. I wouldn't have picked a tight end. I wouldn't have picked him that early. I went with somebody else. Then he got into kind of rookie heavy. He went with your boy Marvin Harrison at 301, which I don't think at that third round turn he was going somewhere in that third round. I see. And then he came all the way back around, went all the way back. Then he got Malik Neighbors and DK Metcalf. So he went 3 receivers back to back after picking. He got his running back and his tight end early, and he said, "All right, let me fill up my receivers." Some QBs went off the board in the third and fourth round, and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna hold off a bit." He didn't get his second running back until his 6th pick at the 10th pick of the 6th round. and he got James Conner out of Arizona. Nigel already shaking his head. He's already like, I'm not liking
Hey
the way this
man,
team. I'm not liking the
hey,
way his team is drafting up.
hey man, I'm letting you go through. I'm letting you go through the list, man. The list sound
Okay,
crazy.
I'll copy. Then we go right up into he got his first QB off the board at Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert of the Chargers was his first QB off the board. Cool beans.
What
Went
pick
and
was
got
that
his
again?
third running back next with Ramondre Stevenson. Then came back his late picks, late flyer picks. When you go into your late picks, you're looking for upside at this point. People that you think that can finish the year strong, and a lot of rookies start to go in this point and things like that. And some of your under the radar, not under the radar, but some of your rookies that end up in some good positions might have some chances to play. Yada yada yada. So he got Xavier Worthy. He took your boy Nick Chubb at 10-10. Nick Chubb falling down to the 10th round, coming off the ACL injury. Don't know how they're going to use him. You're like, hey, Caliber was the star of the league. We'll see how he rocks out. Tyler Lockett at the turn 1101. I'm a Tyler Lockett fan. Tyler Lockett has always done me right. I'm not going to hold you. He's a boom bust, but he always is getting open and he's always working motherfuckers. He's been working motherfuckers for years. So I always do like a good Tyler Lockett. He picked up another tight end. Your boy, another rookie off the board, Brock Bowers at 12-10. Good little flyer. He's seen me. He's on the Raiders. See how they work with him. Take him out. They had that boy on jet sweeps and shit. He got his second and last QB off the board. He got a little 2 QBs out there. He went with your boy Jaden Daniels, another rookie. His draft rookie heavy. He thought this was a dynasty draft.
He was wild.
And then he went with your last 2 picks, depending everybody's system or whatever platform that you draft off of is different. So he went and took a kicker and defense with his last 2 pick. He got Brandon Aubrey, kicker from Dallas. I believe he finished off as the number 1 kicker because that boy was going nutty last year. He was giving you, if you can get a kicker to give you more than 10 points,
Oh man, you solid. You solid, bro.
that's a blessing and a half. Some people don't have kickers, or some people don't have defenses in their drafts and how they go. But if the draft platform that you are on allows you not to pick up defense or a kicker, I strongly recommend you don't pick up a defense or a kicker. You go to the waiver wire. You go to the free agency after, just because the 2 skill players that you could get could the flyers that you're banking on upside can outwork most of these kickers anyway, and your defenses, unless you had fucking Dallas last year going nuclear like they was a QB out there. So, with that being said, so talk to me. What do we think about the hero RB strategy? The way that the first pick of the draft takes it.
There's ways to do hero RB.
Mm-hmm.
The way Mo did it just wasn't it. He did, and it just wasn't it. I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna just keep it hot. Chris McCaffrey is definitely the pick to go, and that's not the problem.
Facts.
But typically when you go hero RB, you get a good RB. You pick your best R. You pick another RB later because you have the security blanket with the RB you already want.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's more the players he chose to surround around this hero RB. I wouldn't draft the volume of rookies he drafted because we don't know what they're gonna be. Like you said, most rookies don't even pop. Most rookie wide receivers don't pop off till the later end of the season. You feel
Facts.
me? Most it's he's setting himself up to like have a very slow start and not make the playoffs, in my opinion. And now we got CMC out of the playoffs when he could have been in the playoffs.
I did see a stat that I don't know what podcast I was listening to this on. They said that last year, if you drafted CMC, 60% of the people that drafted CMC made it to their fantasy championship.
I believe
I
that.
want to see. I want to see what percentage of those teams had 6 rookies in that and their lineup as well.
He said
If that's a stat, I need to see it because that's what's going on here.
My boy said that. My boy said that CMC gonna carry him. He said CMC gonna carry the load, and when by the time mid-season come around, Ricky's gonna pop off.
Yeah.
If CMC on his dolly, if CMC by himself can lead you to a playoffs when you're getting next to no production from anybody else outside of Sam Laporta to start off the season, then
Hold on now.
CMC and Justin Herbert, then you honestly, bro, CMC the greatest fantasy player I've ever seen in my life. He might go down as a GOAT fantasy player.
He
I
actually
think he
might
might
be.
already be.
He actually might already be.
He might be that.
He up there. He up there, man.
You don't get the great white hope for nothing. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I gotta check. There's never been another player in fantasy who's.
I gotta go. I can go. I can go look that up. I could really go look that up for real. But CMC actually is one of the best fantasy football players in history. No cap.
Okay.
In
He's
history.
up there with LaDainian Tomlinson when he was playing back in the day.
And then dating back to like
that.
Jerry Rice in the 80s.
Jerry Rice.
You know what I mean? Like we're talking like
niggas is playing fantasy in the 80s.
Yo, they weren't playing fantasy in the 80s, bro.
They was actually having to write stuff down though.
Oh yeah, nah.
You'd have to write it
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
tally up the points, and mail it in.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah,
I wasn't playing. We wasn't playing.
I would not have been playing. I would not have been playing. We done with the 90s, man. We done with the 80s. We done with the 90s. We're done with that.
Fantasy football.
Yeah,
Best fantasy football player. But like not, let's say like, because also other hero RBs that win in this draft are me and Eli. Eli, your team, who did you have on your team?
Yeah, man. So I'll go ahead and speak on that real quick. So with my first pick, I ended up taking CD Lamb with the 103. And then for my hero RB, I ended up taking Saquon next. And then after that, I didn't touch RB until the 5th round, and I took Travis Etienne. And then I came back around in the 6th round and took Kenneth Walker. So then, even with my 3rd round pick, I went a little early, and I took my boy Josh Allen. But having the upside of what Josh Allen does from the rushing aspect, I was okay with taking that hit. And then in the 4th round, I ended up taking Michael Pittman. I think just as a receiver in the PPR format, I think he's just going to kill it. So I was okay pairing Michael Pittman up with that PPR upside with just top 3 number 1 receiver potential with CD Lamb. So that's why I ended up taking Saquon and not coming back around and drafting Travis Etienne until the 5th. And I think having Travis Etienne as that second RB, somebody who finished top 5 last season, I like that. I was okay with that. That's good value. And then having Kenneth Walker, either throw him in the flex, have him on the bench. That's some good depth for me personally.
Travis.
So I was okay with that.
You said Travis Etienne finished 5th?
He finished. I think he finished top 5. Top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me go see.
I don't think Travis Etienne, he didn't have the big games like McCaffrey did, but he was consistent throughout the season.
Yeah.
He was pretty consistent. You knew he was bare minimum probably going to give you 15 points. And then, he had his big games. He'd give you around 25. So I think that consistency is what kind of helped him to like that top 5 finish, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure.
You're right. No. My boy know he's talking about. And if we're talking total fantasy points, Travis Etienne finished 3rd.
Okay.
With 224, and then per game average, he finished. Now we got a couple in here like Devon A-Chain, but he didn't play the full season, and he had a big game. And then Taylor was out for a few games too, right?
Yeah. I think he missed a couple games with injury and I think contract.
Okay,
so.
Right. So let's say if we take those 2 out for injuries and missing some games, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He finished 6th in scoring with 13 points. 13 points again, 13.2. And 13 point depending on your scoring or whatever league, how your scoring does and stuff like that. But averaged out at PPR, hold on. Wait, is that PPR? Oh no, this is not even.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it sound like ETN was working.
Whatever their standard.
Hey,
Whatever their standard. Oh yeah, yeah. In PPR, he scored 16 points per game. Let me stop. I'm
You
sorry.
see,
There we
this is
go.
better than nigga C.
snagging that in the fifth round. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. Go along with Saquon. I think
I like
Saquon's
it.
going to have a great season this year. I
Oh yes,
think I
sir.
think he's going to
I do
kill
too.
I'm be quiet. This is a fantasy show. It's a
So
fantasy show.
this is a redraft. This is a redraft.
I'm gonna leave my dynasty. I'm gonna leave my dynasty bias out of this.
Mm-hmm.
My dynasty bias out of this. We talking about that a different time.
Nah. Keep going, Eli.
But yeah, man. So I was okay drafting like that. You know, when we did the mock draft, I wasn't technically going in with the hero RB strategy. It just kind of fell down like that. By the time we got towards the end of the second round, I was just looking at the other receivers and then the running backs I could take. And I saw, okay, Saquon at, kind of towards the end of that second round, that's good value for me. I didn't even think he was going to get down towards the end of the second round. So my key is if you're going to go the hero RB strategy, you need to grab guys that are probably going to finish top 5 for you. And usually it's going to be your guys that can catch the ball real well and run the ball. So to me, it's going to be your Christian McCaffrey, your Breece Hall, your Bijan, your Saquon, guys in that field that you're like, all right, this guy can probably finish RB1 towards the end of the season. So let me go ahead and pair that up with some other elite receivers possibly. So if you're going to go hero RB, you need to make sure that you're grabbing guys that you're like, all right, that number 1 finish is there. And it's only a few guys that can really give that to you. You can't just do that with any running back. Promise.
Brees Hall. So like the way that our running backs went, if you just did rankings just based on this mock draft, top 5 running backs went Christian McCaffrey at 101, Bijan at 108, Gibbs at 109, Brees Hall at 203, and Kyron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and Kyron at 204. And so, and if you see Christian McCaffrey finished 1 last year. Kyron, and this is points per game. Kyron finished 2. Your boy Alvin Kamara finished 3rd at 17.9. I told you when that boy come back with a chip on his shoulder, and he missed the first 6 games.
Yeah.
He missed the first 6 games. Then your boy Raheem Mostert finished 4, and they got, let's not count Devon. We can't count Devon, but and then Brees Hall at 5. ETN was at 6. Gibbs was at 7. So we're talking top 10 running backs here that you need to probably try to grab that you want that could get that top 5 finish, depending. Because what the thing is about running backs nowadays, they don't have. This is not last generation's football anymore. We're not in the 2000s. We're not in the 20-aughts or the 2010s anymore. You know what I mean? There's not that typical bell cow running back. And what I mean by bell cow is the person that's going to get 20 to 25 to 30 rush attempts a game, unless you're your boy Zamir White. Like I said, Derrick Henry not even getting that no more because that man about to be 35. No, I'm lying to you. He's 30. Let me stop playing. We it's so crazy because my birthday is coming up soon on the 12th, and I'm about to be 28. But right now, if I was 28 in the league, they'd be looking at me like kicking my tires, like, "Yo, you good? You good, big fella?"
Yeah. You got
They
something.
gonna start looking at you.
You got one last season in you. Like I'm only 28.
Hey, look, they start looking at that contract like, no. Go ahead, come back and restructure that, big fella.
Yeah.
Look. You know the vet minimum in the NFL is the maximum anywhere else now. Think about it.
Hey, listen now. But so with the bell cows being not a thing of the old, you're not going to get 25 rush attempts. So now when you're looking at a top running back, you're looking at somebody that can get you around, that can start averaging, creeping that 20 touches a game. And what I mean by touches,
that's the key word right there, touches.
And so what I mean by touches, we're talking about a combination of rush attempts and catches. You feel me? So now we need the QB, we need the running backs that are going to be down there on third down, getting those getting those routes coming out. You know what I mean? Your Christian McCaffreys, your Brees Halls, your Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinsons, people that you see them, they're getting the rush attempts, but they're also getting design pass plays out the backfield or your check downs. You know what I mean? And so I, like I said, I give that to Christian. I give that to Brees. I give that to Saquon, especially when he was on the Giants. He was on the Giants as a bell cow because that was the only person
He
that
was
they
checking
had.
out monster.
Somebody like Rashad White is somebody who gets a bunch of catches. He gets the rush. Before he was only running back there. His rushing efficiency was
Even now, it's still a little down, but he's the main guy, so it kind of balances out. You know, if the rushing efficiency isn't going to be there, at least he makes up for it for Baker checking it down to him 4 to 6 times a game.
This is, and mind you, we are talking about PPR now, points per reception. If you were playing non PPR or half PPR, your catches aren't valued as much. So then you start tailoring it down just a tad bit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So, and like, I'm looking at your team, Eli. I like your hero RB a little bit more than my hero RB strategy, just a tad bit. I went Justin Jefferson. I had pick 104, so I went Jay Juttas, and I even went. It was a toss up, but I went Jonathan Taylor over Saquon Barkley. Both of them I think have that chip on their shoulder. Saquon just got traded to the new team, so the Giants, New York hate anybody that fucking leave. So, you know what I mean? Everybody on his neck crazy, and he went to the division rivals, so I think Saquon going to want to come in and act crazy, go crazy.
Yeah.
But JT, like I said, came off. He had contract disputes and he had injuries. So him having a full season, and with Anthony Richardson getting banged up, they might want to. You know what I mean? They're not going to give Anthony Richardson say, "Hey, go make it happen." I think they're going to rely on, even around the goal line. I think JT is going to get those. So it was real nook and thing. It was real nook and cranny. The thing is, you still got your little bit of your tush push that you don't know how that's going to go, if they're going to still rock with that with Jalen Hurts. And so I did go JT as my hero RB over Saquon for that reason. So I ended up going Drake London as my second receiver off the board. Big Kirko, you already know how he coming around. I tried to give a man 3 seconds for this dude, and he wasn't budging.
Y'all gonna be sick when y'all realize Michael Penix gonna be starting halfway through the season, man. They're gonna be real sick.
They're not starting Michael Penix. That'd be just a
waste. We'll get into that.
Hey, man, I'm a. Obviously, I went RB wise because I'm skeptical of injuries. So yeah, but go ahead.
We'll see. And I went Anthony Richardson in the 4th round. You feel me? Got your good mobile QB. So I'm heavy on the Colts. I am heavy on the Colts. I think the Colts are going to come back, bounce back. The way that they acted with Gardner Minshew, if they could do that and Anthony Richardson is in there, then I see them taking a step forward. And so with that being said, and then I went and got, I told you I like the chip on the shoulder boys, man. I went Cooper Kupp at 504. You feel me? Come show me something. Show me you not washed up yet. Show me this might be your last year or two. Talk what you said?
I think that's great value right there, man. I think, look, people might be sleeping on Cooper Kupp. He might be up there in age, but like I said last episode, man, them receivers that know how to run routes, man, that don't go, man. That don't go. And now
I remember watching Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl.
It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard.
That's what I'm saying. Puka went 1st round. Let me go ahead and take that second receiver a little bit later. You feel me?
Yeah.
Listen, do y'all remember that Super Bowl when it was like the Rams needed to score, and I don't even know where they were on the opposite side of the end zone, but I want to say if it took them 8 plays to get down there, they threw it at Cooper Kupp 6.
Yeah, bro. That was disgusting work. Look, the Bengals knew Cooper Kupp getting the ball, and guess what? He got it. They could do nothing.
I swear to God, when you hear old niggas talk about why Jordan is the GOAT, they'll say like they would say they would try to stop Jordan from getting the ball at the inbound of the other side because they knew once he had it in his hand, it was a wrap. He wasn't going to stop him.
Yeah.
They knew.
Them old heads be capping, by the way, but go ahead.
Hey, go ahead. I'm just saying, just the way that they talked about it, it
Oh yeah,
reminded me. It reminded me like of that.
Oh no, that is the way they talk about it. They be like, he was walking on water. I seen him outside. He was walking on water. I was like, damn, is it Jordan? No,
And so just to say, so I took a running back with my second pick, and then I didn't touch running back until after Cooper Kupp in the sixth round with the seventh pick of the sixth round, and I went James Cook off of Buffalo. Boy, Buffalo, he had a good season last year, especially once they switched up OCs and they started being a lot more run heavy. And so I think going into next year, getting him in the sixth round, I think is decent value. He is one of the only. They picked up Frank Gore as a late round running pick in the draft, I believe. And so with that being said, I think James Cook is still technically one of the only RBs there, one of the top RBs there. I don't think it's not going to be too much of a big split. And James Cook gets past this too. So with that being said, he's one of those running backs that I feel like is going to be touching that 13 to 15 touches a game. Anything you can get closer to 20 is is golden. That's a top 5 RB all day. So if the closer you can get to that is how you're looking. I went George Kittle in the 7th. We'll talk about tight ends more on another episode, but I think that was good value. I took your boy Chris Godwin at 807. I took Najee Harris in the 9th round.
Was that before or after the contract?
That was before. That was before.
Like, I was getting my days mixed up. I was like, Najee Harris.
You either heard that, you like,
nasty work. But
So definitely, I did pick him up before the contract. But with that even being said, that still fits my narrative. I like boys with a chip on their shoulder, man. Come prove me something. They ain't want to give you the contract, man. Come show me something. Show me why you should have been signed up for that 5th year. Travis Etienne got a 5th year option, but not Najee Harris.
Hey, bro, come on now. We can't act like Travis
we wild now.
Come on.
Najee Harris couldn't. Najee Harris, I ain't gonna disrespect Najee Harris like that, cause I can't do what he do. But hey, man. But hey.
Najee Harris finished. Oh, good Lord. Jalen Warren finished better. No. Jalen Warren finished 11.6 average. And this is PPR, right? Yeah, 11.6. And Najee Harris finished with 11.5. So they literally finished with the same John. I still think Najee Harris is still going to be the lead running back. I think they're going to split it. Jalen Warren is more of your pass catching running back than more of your bruiser.
They got Arthur Smith as that OC now. So I don't know. I don't think I want to touch any of those. I don't think you'll be seeing any of those Steelers skill position players on my team. I saw what he did with the Falcons, and bro, that was nasty work, bro. Niggas were having to look at their lineups with the Falcons players and like, all right, bro, are you gonna spaz for 25 for me, or you gonna give me 3? There's no reason we should be seeing Jonnu Smith score more points than Kyle Pitts, man. Come on.
Hey, I was living in Atlanta at the time. I was going to the games. Hey, but Arthur Smith made me a Tyler Algier believer. I was like, hey. I said, hey, if you gonna give him the ball 20 times a game, give it to him. You feel me?
And we're gonna spend 1st round picks on elite talent and not give him the ball.
And not give him the ball.
You feel me?
Hey, look, we gonna use them as decoys. Come on now. We drafted them top 10 to use them as decoys for my 5th round and 6th round guys to get the ball. That makes sense.
Hey man, he had me thinking Tyler Algier was a top 5 running back in vanity. I said not Big Ty.
Najee Harris. Now that we're looking at it in our draft, the way our mock draft set up, Najee Harris was the 44th running back off the board at pick 904 by me. And listen, and this is a great lesson on strategy and average ADP, which is your average draft pick, and trying to get late round flyers with upside, right? And so this is a good real strategy right here. Two running backs split in the backfield. Najee Harris, I picked him as the 44th running back off the board at pick 904. Jalen Warren came off the board. He was, if Najee Harris was 44, Jalen Warren was the 51st running back. So he was another 7 running backs later, and he went in the 11th round. And so if we look at, this is just a quick lesson, how you can take, if I took Puka went in the first round, and I took Cooper Kupp in the 5th round. You feel me? That's the type of taking the lesser person, but they're still probably going to get equal, probably around the same, maybe not the same amount of targets as Puka's going to get, but Cooper Kupp is still Cooper Kupp, and he's off the injury, so we don't know. We can, you know what I mean? And so, like some people, if you didn't know who was going to do better, whether Najee Harris or Jalen Warren, they finished within 0.1 point together in PPR scoring last year. I got Najee Harris at the 9th pick. People who went after Najee Harris, some fool picked up the Cleveland defense for some reason. He must have been an auto draft. Boom, 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 boom.
Who's that? Gersh. Gersh. I ain't in, but I talked last episode about this nigga team, man.
Hey, listen, we'll talk about him just some more. Javonte Williams went there. He's probably the starting running back in the Broncos offense right now. I probably should have went Javonte over Najee. Evan Ingram was a tight end. Dak Prescott went as a QB in the 9th round. I think is a great pick in the 9th round.
Great value right there.
Joe Mixon. Dang, I'm bugging. Joe Mixon went. He's the starting running back of the Texans. DeAndre Swift, starting running back of the Bears. Brian Robinson, that's kind of tough. I don't know about that. Kyler Murray, Brian Thomas, the wide receiver of the Jags. I picked Jamison Williamson after that. Christian Watson, Nick Chubb went 10-10. So there's a few picks that you could have gotten, and then you still could have gotten Jalen Warren in the 11th or 12th round that you were looking at him at. So that's just a quick lesson on ADP and trying to figure out if you got two people that are right next to each other, take the second one and take them later. You can get some more things and try, and you have a bigger range of outcomes. You feel me? Outside of the hero RB, we got some people that went 0 RB. My boy Nigel went 0 RB. Tell him about your team, my guy.
Man, listen, I'm not a big fan of running backs. I love the way the NFL is going right now. Death to the running backs, but we don't need y'all. You feel me? Y'all boys dime a dozen. I'm in support of it. But on a serious note, like I just, in my limited experience with fantasy and just watching football in general, like if it ain't CMC, I don't like workhorse running backs just because of injury. So, and if I'm not gonna choose a workhorse running back, I might as well go with a receiver, in my opinion.
What pick were you?
I was pick 6? I think I was pick 6.
Copy.
I was pick 6. So like, in my opinion, if I'm not gonna get CMC, I'm just gonna choose the best available wide receiver just because of injury. Like it's less risk.
And who were the receivers that you picked up?
My first receiver off the board was that boy Jamar. That man.
Okay.
That man.
Big Chase.
That boy.
Big Chase.
And my second one was, and this all depends on how Derek Carr play. That boy, big Olave. You feel me?
Okay.
In the second round?
Yeah, I got Olave in the second round. I picked Jamar first, Chris Olave second, and Brandon Ayuk third. So I went 3 straight receivers. Because like I said, it's depth to the RBs around here. Like I rather, like CJ was saying, when it comes to RB, if you choose Jameer, I'm gonna just get David Montgomery. You feel me? I'm gonna get the second guy. Maybe your guy get hurt.
David was working. I ain't even gonna.
David was working for me last season. You feel me? Jameer was putting up 20, but guess who's right behind him putting up 15 every game? Hey, I don't need 20 from you.
I'll get that 5 somewhere else. I get that 5 somewhere else
if I got the top receivers. You feel what I'm saying?
Fair. Let me go see where David Montgomery. Jameer finished.
Where'd he go? He went 705.
Yeah, David Montgomery. David Montgomery went 705. Jameer went 109. And last year they finished. I know David Montgomery was out a couple games, and
Yeah.
Jameer was a rookie starting off kind of slow. I remember the first like 4 games they didn't even really use him like that.
Yeah.
But Jameer finished with 16.1, and David finished with 14.8. So you feel me? We're two point different spread, and you could instead of spending the time with Jameer, you get fucking Jamar Chase, and then you can go slide
Dave,
David Montgomery in the where did he went in the 7th round. So
I'll
hey,
find it. I'll find him 2 points somewhere else. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I can find the 2 points. You feel me? So I'm not too pressed on. I like the split backfield people. You feel me? Less risk of injury. And I like the split back and they slept on. You feel me?
okay, I like it.
People the name ain't appealing to y'all. When people say David Montgomery, I seen Eli face. David, yeah.
I can't.
14 4 he put up 14 points. Hell, the person y'all praising at 107, 109,
109.
he only got 16. You feel me? So like what we doing?
But
Hey
But
man,
we comparing a rookie who started off slow to a veteran running back that can't really stay healthy already. So, hey,
hey,
2 points, he's only going to get better.
and
I
that's
do think
cool.
I do
And
think
He's only
and
going to
David
get
and
better.
will.
and, and, and David Montgomery got a 3-year contract for some bread. They're gonna put him on the field. They're gonna find a spot for him.
Oh, bro, don't pay attention to them 3-year contracts, bro. It's really like, yeah, you got a year, and we gonna see how you do the other two.
I do think David did do as a Jameer Gibbs holder in Dynasty. I do still see David. I do see them still working. Detroit got that gritty, tough, fight for every yard type of mentality. So I do see David Montgomery still having a decent role. So
Yeah.
I do I as a Jameer Gibbs holder, I would love to see them get rid of David Montgomery and just give it all to Gibbs. But I do see it. But I also do like David Montgomery for Gibbs because it keeps him healthy and so they don't have to run him into the ground.
Yeah,
So I
he,
do
he, he
see
got he got
them.
Yeah,
yeah, he got a lot of goal line touches as well. So like I don't
I do
yeah,
see it. I do see it. No, 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 no. You could roll the dice on David Montgomery.
that's
If
true.
David Montgomery is not a bad roll of the dice.
you feel
Wait,
me?
CJ, how many rushing touchdowns did David Montgomery score last season?
Rushing TDs. TDs. Boom, 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 boom. He has, if I'm looking at this correctly, I believe 13.
Do we think he's going to get 13 rushing touchdowns again?
The way, bro, so like I said, I was really into. I never watched more Detroit Lions games than ever this past year because I had him and Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so with that being said, they used to really like, bro. These motherfuckers. They like fucking butt buddies. Like they brothers. They love each other so goddamn much. They would do like 3 plays going down the field with one running back, and then you'd be like, you know what? Jameer, you ain't get a touchdown. Come on, you can come in and get the touchdown. Or you know what, David, you ain't get a touchdown. Come on, David, you can get this touchdown. I'll be like, nigga, if you don't sit your ass in the goddamn fucking shit. You have 18 points right now. You could finish with 29. If you don't take your ass in there, these motherfuckers they literally were like, you know what? I didn't see David get this touchdown. Yeah, come on, David. Come on, David. Look,
But
they were doing it both ways. So
Okay.
he could touch 9 to 11 touchdowns.
I was
He
about
could
to say,
touch
man,
that.
that's a lot of
but
rushing touchdowns for a running back, man. You know.
that's what I'm saying. Like they to preserve a Jameer Gibbs, the goal line through the middle touches that you need. Most of them just go to David. You feel me? Like you want to go to the outside. Let's get the nigga that's gonna get shifty in space. We wanna blast through the middle. Let's get David going through the middle. And hell, sometimes it be open. So now he going for a couple yards. So it is what it is. My next pick was the GOAT, the greatest football player to ever grace God's green earth, Patrick Mahomes. That
Hold on
brother.
now.
Yo,
That brother.
no, with Nigel, he was gonna say some wild shit.
He was gonna say some.
Hey,
He was gonna say some less shit, man.
hey, niggas lucky I ain't had Garrett in the redraft. Could have been Garrett. But yeah, that boy Patty Mahomes is my next pick. For obvious reasons. I seen people choosing C.J. Stroud over Patrick Mahomes. It has to be racist. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
I don't think it works like that.
They did pick C.J. Stroud. This is Gersh again, but this lets me know that Gersh wasn't on auto draft because he picked Gersh. C.J. Stroud was the second QB off the board at 305. Josh Allen was first at 303, and then Stroud, and then Patrick Mahomes didn't. Patrick Mahomes was the
404.
the sixth. Keep it 1,
He was
2,
a six.
3, 4. You know, he was the fifth QB off the board. He was
I'm
the
about to
fifth
say.
QB. Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts went before him.
I would say in fantasy terms, outside of CJ, possibly. I'll take all those QBs probably over Pat Mahomes.
I just know I can't get 100 fantasy players and be like C.J. Stroud or Patrick Mahomes and any pick C.J. Stroud. Yeah, that's all. That's all I'm saying. That's why I say it got to be racist. It got to be some type of bias. You feel me? Maybe Gershom, a daggone Ravens fan. Maybe he had San Francisco for I don't know. And he couldn't swallow his pride to pick Patrick Mahomes.
He said he don't fuck with. He said he don't fuck with Patrick.
CJ Stroud's gonna have a good season, man. What he finished like QB 12? Pat Mahomes
It's one of
only
those things. It's one of those things. Like I hear this on fantasy podcasts and fantasy analysts talk about it all the time. You don't want to draft people close to their ceiling. Do you know what I mean? Can CJ Stroud finish as the number 2 quarterback in fantasy? There is a chance. He only threw like 23 touchdowns last year, so he'd have to up that up. He don't run like that. So he would have to score more touchdowns.
I don't think many QBs threw more touchdowns than CJ Stroud though last season.
Let me run it back.
I know Dak was up there. I think like Brock Purdy, I think he led the league in passing TDs.
No. That's what I'm saying. CJ Stroud.
So,
There was a few people who threw more touchdowns. Russell Wilson threw more touchdowns than him.
Oh wow.
Russell Wilson threw
Gotta
26.
be racism. That's all I'm going. That's the only excuse.
Patty threw 27.
Okay.
Tua threw 29. Goff threw 30. Brock Purdy threw 31.
Yeah.
So with that being said, now let me go to fantasy points per game. CJ Stroud finished 1, 2, 3, 4,
I think he finished
5,
like
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He finished 10.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins got injured in between that, so we can knock him out. So let's bring him down to 9. And then there's Joe Flacco at the end of the year. So if you really want to, I wouldn't really count him. So you could bring CJ Stroud to top 8. So that's where it's like, can CJ Stroud be number 2 QB in fantasy? Yes, he can. Am I drafting him as the number 2 QB? No.
And I feel like that all comes down to where you draft him to, right? You know, if he's the number 2 QB and he comes off in, let's say, the 4th round, I'll take that. I'll be okay with that.
Here's the thing, though. That's not happening in any draft that Eli's in because he's going to take Eli's always going to take Josh Allen in the 3rd round. That's not going to happen.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
If somebody made it known they were getting Josh Allen in the 1st round, I 100% Eli would use his. I 100% believe Eli would use his 1st round.
Oh yeah, no.
and I'd still draft a solid team after that, boy. Don't get it twisted.
He'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
That's his great white hope. That's his great white hope.
I promise you, hey, there's no bigger Josh Allen fan than me in fantasy terms, bro. That's my boy. He gonna carry me through.
If we love to see it. We love the loyalty.
Nigel, who was your first running back off the board? Since you went the 0 RB strategy, you went with the dead zone running backs. The dead zone is typically the dead zone running back is typically when the first tier or the first 2 tiers of running backs go, and then you don't see another group of running backs until the 5th, 6th, 7th round and stuff like that. So who was your first running back off the board?
After I went Trey McBride, the GOAT, I went Jonathan Brooks, man. And
On your team?
hey, but it was either him or it was some scrubs, but I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, but to be
You
fair,
took Jonathan Brooks over the likes of Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the starting running back in the Vikings. Now,
well,
and then you got James Cook.
I know Aaron very well. He gonna be hurt. I know him very well. He got 8 DMs from me. I know him very well. He gonna be hurt. Hey, I know him well.
Fair.
I chose Brooks, and just in case Brooks don't really play as much as he need to be, I also chose his running mate. I chose Chuba. One of them gonna get crazy. One of them gonna go crazy.
Smart. I'll give you that. That was smart. But I told you now. Every Panther graphic that I see where they talk about Bryce Young's weapons, they got Miles Sanders in there somewhere for some reason.
I haven't seen them graphics. I mean, I'm in North Carolina. I ain't seen them graphics.
You don't need to see the graphics. Just look at the games. Miles Sanders,
nah.
he ain't gonna be. He's not gonna be it, bro.
I'll personally go down to them games and make something shake. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm weak. I don't even think Miles Sanders got drafted in our mock draft.
I'm looking. He didn't. Nobody picked Miles Sanders. No, Miles Sanders not getting picked. and my second RB, I picked right after him. Pick Tony Pollard. That's not bad value at 706.
That's not Tony Pollard. I mean, the thing about Tony Pollard is he had the opportunity to be that nigga in Dallas and folded. So now he's going to a space. They got Tajay Spears too. Who? Let's see where Tajay Spears went.
He not playing, Bucko.
Okay.
He not playing. That boy Tajay. Hey man, you gonna be doing the same thing you did for Derrick Henry. You feel me?
Backup.
You be playing backup. You feel me? And ain't nothing wrong playing backup. You in the NFL. You made it.
Fair. Tony Pollard went 706, and Tajay Spears was they went Ramondre Stevenson, and then Tajay Spears was the next running back off the board in the 9th round. So 2 rounds later.
Okay.
Who's to say?
That's not bad.
But but that's my 0 RB strategy. Like I said, I just don't have faith in workhorse RBs unless your name is Christian McCaffrey. Like I believe you're gonna get hurt. You feel me? I don't believe the upside is what it needs to be.
Okay.
If I want to go through the rest of my draft, obviously I chose that boy Ladd because he's the only receiver on the Chargers. He's the only receiver there. As a Quentin Johnson dynasty, hey, that's my guy. As a Quentin Johnson dynasty owner,
like no more.
Hey, he on my team. I'm rocking with him till he get traded. You feel me?
I'm rocking with him till he get traded. That boy might get released.
Obviously, I chose Ladd, Brian Thomas, got Caleb Williams. You feel me? At 1106. So I feel like a lot of good value. I feel like a lot of good value fell to me. Obviously, I told y'all I drafted Chuba, the guy Chuba Hubbard. So, the 0 RB strategy I feel like is a strategy of I play the odds a little bit. Like I think RBs get injured significantly more than wide receivers, so I'd rather take my chances getting wide receivers and workhorse running backs. So that's just where I went.
I like it. Now, just to wrap it on up so we can get on up out of here, last strategy that I want to talk about is the 2 RB strategy. And we got 1 team out of 10. The computer picked this team. And I'm not going to hold you. I'm liking his team. I'm liking his team a little bit, the way that the QB rocked it out. The computer, the CPU rocked out. His 2, now I don't know how if it's going to slide like this, just depending. But the 2 running backs that he started off with, he picked up at the 8th pick. He picked Bijan Robinson at 108. Then Jahmyr Gibbs went at 109. AJ Brown went at 110. Garrett Wilson went at 201. Nico Collins went at 202. So when it came back to this 2 RB strategy, this boy got Bijan Robinson, and his second running back was Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall at 203 is crazy.
That's a steal, man. That's a steal.
Breece Hall
I think Breece will probably go top 10. He's going top 10.
In some expert consensus, he's going top 5, top 6.
Yeah, easily.
Big Breece. Big
Breece. Some people were talking about how they would rather pick Breece over Garrett Wilson because while Garrett Wilson has been doing crazy shit without a QB, you know what I mean? If Aaron Wilson's 55-year-old ass fuck up again, something happened to them, then Garrett Wilson's right back to purgatory where he at. No, Breece Hall was working.
He ain't. We got Tyrod. Oh. Big Ty. I call him Ty. They call him Ty in the streets.
Hey, listen, you feel me? Man.
He ain't had to pack his bags, so he was just in New York. He still got the same crib. He just had to go down the street.
Fair. Same. Hey, locker room just on the other side.
Locker room on the other side. He ain't
on the green side.
You feel me?
So with that being said, Breece Hall is another one of those people that I'm telling you is one of those 25 to 20 Breece Hall is probably the bell cow, but they don't want to run him into the ground. They did pick up another running back and some people just to like spell him out a little bit. But Breece Hall is one of those top.
Won't do too much.
Hey, I got him in Dynasty. I need you to hush your mouth. I got him in Dynasty.
Might as well let him go. Might as well let him go.
Breece Hall finished second in total fantasy points scored in PPR at 290, and fantasy points per game he finished. Let's take out Devon Achane because he was hurt most of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he finished with 17.1. And so I want to get into like attempts. Let's do attempts. He had 223 rushing attempts. Some quick math. If I take my calendar, let's do that. 223 divided by 17.
He didn't play 17 games, did he? How many games did he play?
No, he played 17.
I think that's 17. That's 17 rush attempts a game, and then let's say receptions. He had 76. 76.
One game he went crazy against the Commanders and had I think at least 12 receptions, bro. He went crazy one game. It was just
my man.
He's our best receiver right now.
Listen, bro. So that's 13. That's 13 rush attempts average, and that's 4 pass receptions average. So we're talking 17 touches a game. And what I tell you, the closer you are to 20, you're hitting elite status. And so with that being said, he was targeted 95 times a game. That's more than some wide receivers out there. You see what I'm talking about? So Breece Hall in the second round is nuts. So the fact that he was able to
at the 203, and to pair that up with Bijan, who can there's only a handful of guys that could finish top 5, and really that number 1 overall RB1, getting both of those guys back to back. Hey man,
that was crazy value. It was crazy value.
That's good work. That CPU knew what it was doing.
And the way that it goes, if you got 10 teams and you get 2 of the top 10 running backs or 2 of the top 5, someone is asked out at the running back position. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And so you're pretty much locking down that you're going to win the RB battle every time you slide. Yeah. Now the way the rest of his team played out, he had Mike Evans in the 3rd round. I don't think that's bad. He got him ahead of DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, and Drake. No, I'm sorry, wrong way. He got him ahead of Rashid Rice, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle. He came back and got Tank Dell. So I think Tank Dell in the 4th round. He picked him up. Stephon Diggs won a few picks before, so you pick up the last one, which is cool. It's still going to be a fight for targets out there. We'll see how
that's going to be the toughest. That's the toughest receiving core right there. The Bears and the Texans. To me, when you're drafting those receivers, you're really going to have to look at them and be like, all right, can this guy really command the targets from the QB? And I think that those are going to be guys that personally I kind of look out for when drafting this season. You know, you want to get those QBs, but those receivers, I think those QBs are just going to want to spread the ball so much that they'll be on the winning end compared to those receivers. I think it's probably going to be a lot of boom bust for those receivers on those two teams specifically.
You heard you heard it here first. Tank Dell and Vamadunze are gonna lead their teams in as the wide receiver. And so I'm gonna just throw that out there. You
But
feel
what
me?
does that but what does that look like though? Does you know are they leading it? You
It
know,
still look like it still look like top 15 receiver, but you know
Really?
it's still like
wow.
top 15. But it
Top 15 is tough.
but I would pick Tank Dell over the rest of them, and I'll pick Vom over DJ Moore and Keenan Allen if I was y'all. So
Top 15. Top 15 is
Hot
tough.
take, hot take.
I'm just throwing that out there, man. I'm throwing that out there.
Okay. I can see. Hey, there's a world where if Stroud and Caleb are going nuts, they could do that. If they're passing the ball 25, if they're passing the ball up to 27, 30 attempts a game.
I mean, but are we saying, you know, if CJ throws for 30 times, is Stephon, Nico, and Tank each getting at least 10 passes thrown to them? Same with Caleb. If they, you know what I mean, somebody having three receivers
Only one
like
person
that.
can command 20% of the targets.
Yeah.
1 to 2. You can see it. You can see it. You can see it.
Hey man, Caleb got rookie bias. He throwing to the person he came in with. He ain't throwing to my old niggas, man.
We
Only like 27, maybe 28.
We don't know them. We don't know them niggas, man. We don't know them niggas.
After Tank Dell, he got Devontae Smith.
That's
He
good
got
value.
Devontae Smith at the 5th round. I like it. And then he got Keenan Allen, the third of the receiver. I think Roma Dunze went real late. But you know what I mean? DJ Moore went 307. Keenan Allen went 6th round. So you see, you could pick up some other more people out there. He got Terry McLaurin, George Pickens. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He went 6 receivers after picking up those 2 RBs. Didn't go a QB in the 4th round where some of the other QBs went. He got Evan Ingram. He got Terry McLaurin and George Pickens in the 8th round. I think George Pickens in the 8th round is mean.
That's good. I mean,
I think I probably would have picked George Pickens over Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Evan Ingram as his tight end off the board at the 9th round. I think that's big time. I think Evan Ingram is going to be a top 6 or 7 tight end.
Yeah.
I think. And then his first, he picked up Kyler Murray as his first QB. I'm not gonna hold you. The CPU is one of the computer at the 8th pick is one of my favorite teams up here.
He was playing a different game than the rest of us. You feel me?
He knew.
He knew we weren't intelligent like that. You feel me? He was fleecing. He was more fleecing. That's what it was. He was like, oh, y'all gonna let? Oh, okay, facts. Y'all gonna let him fall? Okay, I got you. Say less.
Then got Jalen Warren. We talked about him at the 11th pick. Go ahead. That was his 3rd running back. And then Tua Tagovailoa to back up Kyler Murray. It's not bad at the 12th round. And Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
And then they finished up with Daniel Carlson as a kicker and Seattle Seahawks as the defense. I'm not going to hold you, man. I think CPU might be my favorite team. This 2 here, it's not going to be often that Breece Hall and Bijan are going to fall back to you. You might have to be somewhere at the turn to make something like this shake out. And when we mean by the turn, we mean by the at the ends of the first 3 picks or the last 3 picks of the draft, where you can kind of bank on knowing that you got 2 picks kind of back to back or kind of close.
And more than likely, you're not pulling off getting Breece and Bijan. You'll probably be able to get like
Bijan and Kyron Williams.
Yeah, Bijan and Kyron, possibly Bijan and like Saquon or something.
Yeah.
But that's still a good 1-2, right? You got 2. You have 2 guys that can finish out top 5 for you. So you know that's not bad. But pulling off like a Breece Bijan, yeah, that's not gonna happen. And
the CPU said Breece Hall is still here. Give me that.
Yeah. Your CPU was like, oh, y'all drunk. God. We got us one.
Oh, got us one. Sirs.
I promise the CPU. The CPU won't even think about going 2 RBs until he seen Brees fall. He was like, "Oh, they're drunk. Let me get Brees. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out after that." You feel me?
No cap, no cap, no cap. With that being said, we are reaching the end of our time for this episode. Real quick, like I said, I think the CPU is my favorite team. Real quick, who do y'all have as your favorite team?
Me.
That boy Nigel said
Probably-
my team.
Yeah.
What are we saying?
I mean, bro, look, I'm not gonna play bias towards my team, but yeah, bro, I gotta agree with you with that CPU team. I think getting Bijan and Brees with the first and second round picks, I think that's good, and they did exactly what you should do with if you're drafting 2 RBs in the first 2 rounds is those next rounds 3 through 5 or however, grab your receivers, man, because the thing is that's going to be kind of like where everybody else is getting their depth at receiver as well. So you don't want to try and go grab like your QB or like your tight end. Nah, go ahead and grab them receivers, because then if you don't, might be stuck with like maybe like Zay Flowers being your wide receiver one, which isn't bad, but
wide receiver one.
Wide receiver one.
Hey, it is bad. It is bad. Let's throw that out there. That's bad.
Zay Flowers, I think he's gonna have a better. He's gonna be better this season. But that's not on him. But
wide receiver one good?
No,
probably wide receiver two. Wide receiver two, but if you're gonna go 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds, you want to make sure that you couple up some guys that are either going to be scoring a lot, so Mike Evans, guys that are going to probably be more PPR machines, so like a Tank Dell, Devontae Smith, having those guys kind of round out where you're like, all right, Mike is probably going to give me anywhere between around 13, possibly 25, and Baker's just launching it to him. Devontae Smith is still on a good offense. Tank Dell's on a good offense, but you already know how I feel about, them Bears and Texans receivers. So, yeah, bro, that's solid. But he took a real big dip once he got back to like that RB3 being Jaylen Warren. Because then one of your top 2 running backs get injured, you're fucked. you're fucked. So you might want to target running back a little bit earlier than that and try and grab somebody else that might be on a higher scoring offense.
Along with those 2 RBs, him getting Kyler Murray in the 10th round was crazy. I think that's
crazy.
I think that right there is what sealed it off. Like, oh, yeah, he's on the computer's on a different level than any of us.
Who are the QBs that went before?
CJ put it on the hardest difficulty. You feel me?
Who are the QBs that went before Kyler?
QBs that went before Kyler.
Let me check that too.
Dak, Justin, Joe Burrow. Kyler was the 10th one off the board.
Okay.
So I think get him in. Oh, it was mean. And then just to top it all on off, we already know who the worst team is that we feel like we can all say at the same time. Everybody look at the camera.
Oh,
Gersh.
Oh, whoa! But actually, he got CMC. He guaranteed a playoff spot.
No, that's Mo. Mo got CMC.
Yeah. I said Mo. But he got CMC. He guaranteed a playoff spot. But Gershom team is terrible, bro. It's disrespectful, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, man, he might be able to make a little playoff push. You never know.
You know what I want to do? I actually, towards the end of the football season, I'm gonna tally up these playoff points. I'm gonna tally up the points for these teams, and I'm gonna figure out which one of these teams would have won the season. You feel me? I'm gonna tally this up.
We are gonna have some more mock drafts going on. This is just the first one so we didn't even make it to the summer yet. So we're gonna have at least 2 more, maybe 3.
Yeah.
So we gonna touch it up some more. But hey, we have reached the end of our time here at the Fleecers Fantasy Football Podcast. We really appreciate you. Got your boy CJ, my boy Eli, talk to him.
Yes, sir.
My boy Nigel, talk to him.
You guys have a blessed day.
Listen, man, what he said. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.